Welcome to another edition Ball Up Top. This is a very special. It's warming up outside, everybody. It's about to be cookout time. We're gonna see about which teams are in the playoffs that are left of the playoffs, which is everybody. Nobody's been eliminated yet. Literally been eliminated yet. We'll get to that in a second. Which of these teams, though, there's 16 teams, which of these teams are cooked? We're doing cooked or not cooked. I guess we could do cooked or raw, but, whatever. Whatever. Cooked or not cooked.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to look at the teams. We're going to see who is actually done and who still has a fighting chance left in this season. Ready, fellas? Of course, Producer Rodney. Of course, Producer Chuck. We are always with the esteemed producers here helping out. All right, you ready, fellas?
Good.
Okay, let's start with the teams that we are saying are not cooked. Teams that are still alive, very much alive in the playoffs. Let's start at the top. The teams that are up 0-2. We have Cavs. We have Thunder. We have Pacers. Celtics. We're going to talk about the Celtics in a second. They're not cooked. We can agree on that, right? Not cooked.
Yeah. Easy.
Easily not cooked. Then we have teams that are locked into close series. We have Nuggets Clippers, of course. Yeah. Very close series so far. Close series so far. Knicks Pistons, close series so far. Yeah. Now, Knicks could have been cooked. They are
I'm glad someone said it.
One quarter of playoffs away from being a cooked team. Which, by the way, as somebody I've learned, talked to my my homie and colleague, and of course Knicks representative Monica McNutt. She said, you're deep into the takes game when you care more about the takes than anything. When I was watching the Pistons blow game one, it was like watching.
Did you feel bad for me? Did you feel bad for me?
I felt bad for all of us. Like
You guys were haters. I wouldn't feel bad for me. I was here.
As the person who said that Cade Cunningham was going to be the best player of the series, and all of New York banging on my door, I was like, I felt we had.
I felt you when you did that though. So I felt you.
We had some special. Which, by the way, Cade and Brunson are still neck and neck, I think, for best player of this series. Brunson, of course, caught fire in that fourth quarter. Brunson was great in the second game. Cade is right there with him. Karl Anthony Towns, MIA in game two, did not show up. So I think it's between those two guys. We still have a shot. We still have a shot.
We still got it.
But both these teams are still very much alive right now. Then we have Lakers Wolves again. Both very much alive in that series. Surprisingly so. I thought the Wolves were going to give up both of those games. I thought game two would be close to what we saw from the Timberwolves. But they blew the Lakers out of the water. I was not too terribly alarmed after game one. Do you know Luka has won 6 playoff series? 4 of them he's lost game one. So it kind of takes him a little bit to get locked into a series. That's a close match. Now, and the Rockets, of course, are not cooked. Now we have a couple of, they're defrosting. They're like out the fridge, or when your mama says
got the water.
Your mama says take chicken out the freezer. Mm-hmm. The chicken is out of the freezer on these teams, but it's pending health, right? Okay. The Celtics, we got to keep an eye on the Jason Tatum wrist bruise. He seems to be fine. It seems to be okay. They beat the Magic without him. I think it'll be fine. But Jaylen Brown's a little banged up. Tatum's a little banged up. Something to worry about. I know
it's worried about the future for them more so now.
They're winning this series.
Okay, cool.
They're fine.
Right. All right,
they're
make sure.
Overpowering the Magic. Now the Warriors are the most interesting team that is out of the freezer right now, and this is pending the Jimmy Butler situation. We got to figure out what's up with Jimmy Butler, the pelvis, the contusion. It's either going to be a contusion, which hurts and is a painful thing to play through, or it's a situation where we're looking at a long-term thing. Either way, he's going to be in a lot of pain for Game 3. There's going to be a lot of concern. This Warriors team, as we saw in Game 2, need Jimmy Butler, and a large part of their need for Jimmy Butler is the fact that Jonathan Kuminga is not in service. I spent.
You're out on.
He played 26 minutes. He gave him good minutes, or did he not?
He played minutes. He played minutes. Good minutes is a stretch. Good minutes is a stretch. He played minutes. Good minutes, not so much. The thing, Kuminga, game 1, and in the play-in, it was like, okay, why isn't Kuminga getting any run? What's going on with Steve Kerr? Why? We got our answer in game 2.
Okay, so game 2, who were you more impressed, or who would you like to see more minutes on the Warriors? Jonathan Kuminga or Pat Spencer?
I knew you were going to say Pat Spencer because Pat Spencer. Give your minutes to Knox if you have to. Kuminga looked absolutely.
You putting Kuminga under Knox?
Kuminga looked. He looked like I think he was 1 for 6 in paint points.
Yeah.
The guy was just not involved, not rebounding.
Biggest bag fumble of 2025. Kuminga turning down that $30 million.
A bag fumble. I think the Warriors are out on this dude. And if Jimmy Butler plays, I'm not sure how much PT's get. No, because my thing was like, if you are Kuminga and you're looking at Buddy Hield's minutes, like you have to put Steve Kerr in a Stone Cold Stunner and say, how are you not playing me over Buddy Hield? Buddy Hield's minutes are better than Jonathan Kuminga's minutes right now. And so the Warriors do not have a number 2 outside of Jimmy Butler. He needs to be healthy. Without Jimmy Butler, the Warriors are absolutely going on the stove, and they're cooked.
Oh yeah, they're getting flam blade for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the non-Steph minutes are just rough.
Kuminga, the fall is
the fall is crazy. Notice Chucky did not answer my question. If you wanted Pat
about the Spencer minutes, though,
he didn't answer. Didn't answer.
I think, hey man, give me them Spencer minutes. All right, so now we're getting to the teams that are cooked.
Okay.
And I think that right now it's a pretty easy call for the teams that are cooked. We have 4 cooked teams. We're gonna start with, and they're all down 0-2, or they have been down 0-2. We're gonna start with the Miami Heat. Is a cooked team. But they've been a competitively cooked team. They've been competitive against Cleveland. I think this Miami Heat team can actually make this series. They can't make it interesting. They can win a game. They can win a game in Miami based on the way that they played. Came back to close out game 2. Made it close. Miami Heat are cooked, I think. What do you say, fellas? Miami Heat cooked or not cooked?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it on the head. They played hard. They made the game interesting. I don't think Cleveland Cavaliers will have another game where they hit 11 threes in a quarter. So for that, to your point, I think they'll win 1. But you were getting a little too close to the edge talking about this is interesting. Nah, gentlemen sweep at that.
Yeah, you're right. And so, I mean, the Heat actually played great in game 2. Yeah. They had 112 points, 16 threes, better than 50% shooting, and they allowed less than 50% shooting. NBA teams are 76-0 in those numbers in the playoffs. Wow. And the Heat were 45-1 with those numbers in games all time. Damn. They pretty much gave you that was from Tim Reynolds who posted that.
I will say for Miami, not cooked. The spread. They covered the spread. I appreciate Miami. It was at a robust 12. They covered it with ease. So, it's just, looking forward, we got to keep it positive. Miami can still win you some money. So, it's something to consider.
I think they have the potential to make each game close, but that was the best shot that Miami had, I think, game 2. And they still only got it close at the end when Cleveland took their foot off the gas. Like, this still felt like a Cleveland win.
Like, playoff Donovan Mitchell, like, that fourth quarter, amazing.
Yeah. That was they could not stop him. We got a glimpse. This is a tune-up for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Did you see what Garland said? Last thing, you see what Garland said about the defense, the strategy, the going against Miami? Just find Tyler Hero. Just cook him. Tyler Hero. That's it.
And my thing is, he can score 36, but if he's gonna give up 30 and 17 in the fourth, it don't matter.
Yeah.
That the Miami team. Cooked. Absolutely cooked. We can agree, fellas, right?
Yep.
We're here.
It's been great having you, Miami. First 10 seed to make it to playoffs. Fantastic. Our producer Cortez says that Tyler Hero is Trae Young, which we're actually going to talk about Trae Young in a little bit, even though they're not in the playoffs. Even though they're not in the playoffs.
I'm not mad.
No, you have some respect too.
Trae Young is a much better player than Tyler Hero.
Come on, man.
Should have gotten Tyler Hero's All-Star spot.
One was an All-Star, one wasn't. Man.
All right, man. Keep going.
Should have gotten Tyler Hero's All-Star spot.
Thank you.
All right, now the other 3 teams, we're gonna not just talk about how cooked they are in this playoffs. But I think it's important to talk about what them being cooked means going forward, because these three teams are going to have some really interesting off seasons. Let's start with the Orlando Magic, which is a team that played one half of great basketball against the Boston Celtics, made it competitive in that first half. Banchero, Wagner, their season, to be fair, fell off of a cliff with the injuries in the middle of the season.
Yep.
But even with those guys healthy, their offense has been brutal to watch. It's been a tough watch for them offensively. The Boston Celtics just have too much firepower, and their defense is too good. The Magic are toast. They're cooked. Can we agree on the Magic being cooked?
Right now, I would say present time in terms of this playoffs, 100%. There's a couple teams where going forward, the forecast is just as bad, if not worse, than the present. The Magic, I think, are the one team that's cooked right now, but you can actually see in the future how they aren't cooked. Like, you see what they need. You see how they can improve. They don't have Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
You know, they have pieces that can be easily added, you know, a playmaker, some shooting. And you can see how, going forward, they aren't cooked.
Well, the thing about the Magic that are interesting is I'm always concerned about a team that's one Jalen Suggs away from contendership.
I agree with him to an extent. They need a real vet. Like, KCP is a great addition to a championship-winning team. He's not the vet that takes you from we can't get out the first round to the championship. That's not what they need. A real solid. They need what Andre Iguodala was for the Warriors in 2015. They need a type of cat who's like not great, but is really, really good and can elevate great players like Paolo.
I don't care how old the guy is. They need another player that can dribble. They need a point guard that can get Paolo and Franz the ball so they don't feel like they're carrying the world on their shoulders. I don't care if the guy is 19 or 29. They just need someone who can shoot a three and dribble.
Nah, playoffs, they need that.
Well, so this is why we did a little foreshadowing. Could the Orlando Magic have use for one Trae Young?
Yes.
Next season. What does Trae Young do for this Orlando Magic team? Trae Young, they're the Atlanta Hawks. There's been talk about them moving on from Trae Young. They just got rid of their general manager. There's a lot of smoke to the fire. Atlanta has a young. I actually like the Dyson Daniels of it all. I like a couple of the players. I think that Atlanta actually has a potential to build around Young. Because the thing is, you've been building Trae Young. You've been having Trae Young. You have a veteran around Trae Young. You trade a veteran. You get younger. They've been doing this around Trae. Like at what point do you hold on to the assets that you've been getting rid of to build an actual team? And they seem like on a different timeline, and they can get something back from Trae because you're not going to give this dude all the money that he can command with Supermax things and stuff like that. But you put him with Orlando, now I think you have a really, really interesting. Now the defensive deficiencies are still there. Trae Young, Orlando Magic, I think it's a possibility. What say you guys?
Listen, I love the way you're thinking, man. Listen, I see Trae Young go to the Eastern Conference Finals with God knows who. With God knows who. If you give him who was on you tell me who's on that team, right? You give him Paolo and Franz, legitimate all-stars. How many times has Trae Young played with another all-star? You tell me. Like Trae Young gets a lot of hate because he's small and he doesn't play that much defense. Who plays defense in the NBA? Like, stop it. I'm not jacking that. Trae Young is great. He scores and he gets assists. Give Trae Young some help in Orlando, and let's see what happens. If he stinks there, then I'll take back all my praise.
So Orlando Magic cooked, but when you take him off the grill, put him on the plate, put a side of Trae Young there. Which Trae Young, by the way, has never played with an all-star teammate while he's been with the Atlanta Hawks.
Thank you.
Did get them to the conference finals. Shout out to Ben Simmons. Did get him to the conference finals.
Yes, thank you.
A few years ago.
Shout out to Ben Simmons is right.
I kind of like Trae Young with Orlando. Now, which brings me to another team who may be looking to do something with their point guard, and that is a team that is cooked beyond like coocation. They got put on a salt. They got sautéed and thrown on the grill. Like at the pretty much 15 minutes into the game. That's the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that is just overmatched against the OKC Thunder. Lost by more than 70 combined points in the first two games. These games have not been competitive. they've been actually kind of embarrassing to watch. We can agree, Memphis Grizzlies cooked, right?
I mean, yeah, different kind of cooked. Yeah, they're damn near burnt.
They're cold. Like it's just all bad. It's all bad over there.
Yeah, and I do recall a couple years ago, Memphis, Ja Morant saying we ain't worried about nobody in the West.
Yeah, they good in the West.
They're good in the West.
To be fair, remember who he was talking to. People say a lot of crazy things when they get to talk.
They have not won a playoff series since he said that. Just saying, throwing that out there. Memphis, absolutely a cooked team. But the thing about Memphis that is really interesting here is that they're also a team that has to make some decisions about their core, right? What is the ceiling of Ja Morant? Well, Ja Morant, first of all, what is the ceiling with Ja Morant? And then what are you building around Morant right now to make them competitive? Because this dude, I know Memphis loves him. I know that there is a relationship there. But how surprised would we be if maybe Trae Young doesn't go to Orlando? What if Ja Morant is the next person to move out of Memphis?
I mean, I do like Ja because the thing, and this is what I was referencing when we talked about Orlando, is that I see a path for Orlando. Memphis is the team I see no path for. They are a special type of Sacramento Kings cooks, where you have a core where you're paying max value to players who are not max players. Yep. I love Ja. He's not available enough for me to be considered a max player. Desmond Bane is making the max. Enough said.
I'm with you.
Jaren Jackson Jr., I just saw him pull down 2 boards in an entire NBA game, and you're telling me he's eligible for $300 million this offseason for an extension. So if that's your big three, you are the worst type of purgatory 8th seed fighting for the play-in first round exit, yet you have no salary cap to do anything. Different kind of cooked that expands beyond this season and next, and I'm talking for the next 5 to 10 years. You're in trouble because once you try to offload these guys, then you have to offload all of them and start from scratch, and it's a mess. It's a mess.
Well, that becomes the question then. Do the Memphis Grizzlies blow up everything? Do you like if you're doing Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, those 3 guys, are we moving all 3 of them, or are we because Jaren Jackson is good enough to be a best, like second best player, third best player on a contender.
All 3 of those guys, you could say that for
all 3 guys. Jackson is 7 foot and can't grab rebounds. No 7-footer who can't grab rebounds can be this. I'm sorry, that is the issue. I think I'm with David. What do? Do you get rid of all 3, or
you have to get rid of all 3?
Or do you try to pivot? I personally think you pivot on Jaren Jackson. Listen, he's too big, and there's too much potential, and someone will eat that up. If you can do a signing, like I'm not giving him 300. I wouldn't if I was Memphis, but if they can sucker somebody in and do some signing trade, like this is when NBA GMs, this is when you become Sam Presti. Like this is why Sam Presti, because he would find a way to like this is when someone has to do something. The Clippers are where they're at right now because they didn't give Paul George that money. Memphis better think hard before, because if they don't give that money, they'll have a chance. If they give that money, they are good as sauteed, baby.
Well, this also brings up an interesting sort of a digression. I'm really interested in when you talk about people who are biting and desperate GMs. What wild move is Nico Harrison going to do this offseason to make that to prove to everybody that he made the right deal?
He's going to go after Kevin Durant.
He is going to Memphis for job.
He is going to overpay for somebody. Like you just know the clock is ticking on Nico Harrison. He is going to be paying twice what anybody else.
Is Kevin Durant?
Either it's Kevin Durant. It might be
Oh,
Kevin Durant. He is going to pay. Phoenix is
37
licking their chops.
Kevin Durant?
He is going to be paying and overpaying and absolutely overpaying for somebody. Maybe that's Kevin Durant. Maybe that's even just some auxiliary pieces. He wants to win that championship now.
It's going to be Kevin. You know,
and he's going to overpay for it.
Kyrie is still there. He's talked about Kevin Durant before. I make a wing, a point guard, a big. I'm telling you, he's going to do it. I'm not saying it's the best move, but he's going to.
He has to star power. Like if there's I no disrespect to Kevin, but 37-year-old Kevin Durant is not the star power No. It got to be something.
I'm just telling you
Well,
what he's going to do.
he's doing something. I would be surprised if they even try to look at Desmond Bain or somebody like that to do. But Nico Harris will go overpay for something. But I'm with you guys. The Grizzlies, I just don't think those three guys. They're like good. You have all really high end auxiliary guys on that Grizzlies team, but nobody good enough to get you over the. And here's the thing about John Morant that I think we have to talk about. John Morant came into the league, dynamic, explosive dude, led this team second in the West a few times. He has not gotten better at a single thing in the last 4 or 5 years. I think that's part of what the issue is with John Morant. He hasn't gotten better. He hasn't become a better shooter. He hasn't become a better point guard. He ain't dunking better than he was before. The defense is not any better. He's not any better.
Can I cap for John just a little bit?
Go for it.
While he may not have become a better shooter, I think the percentages do have elevated. So just purely from a statistical standpoint, I think we should give him that. And he's just been injured. Like that, I know.
Is that changing?
Yes, I know Ryan's going to hit me with that's part of it. I get that.
Right.
But can I just get a little, like when you said when healthy, they've been second in the West. So there is something to be said that when Ja plays, and he's there, they are a decent team. I just don't know this version right now what it looks like.
But at no point, I don't think at any point you could say that this Memphis Grizzlies team, maybe when they played the Warriors in 22, but they still lost. John Morant got hurt at the end of the season. At no point in this entire Memphis run have I ever looked at the Grizzlies and said, this team has a real shot at winning the championship.
I think that's fair.
Or being a contender. And John Morant, the shooting stats may go up. And he does not put fear in
everybody's still going under that screen.
Right,
man.
Everybody's going to go under that screen, and nobody is being scared when John Morant shoots that three. That just ain't happening. And so,
I'm just saying.
I'm with you guys. Memphis, I think they have some real tough decisions
John,
ahead.
I tried, John.
Yeah, I know. We tried. We love John. We love the dunks. We love all that stuff. But there's just too much there. And I think we should probably make some moves. Now let's talk about the probably the most fascinating Cook team. Let's talk a little bit of venison here. The Milwaukee Bucks, absolutely cooked, down 2-0 against the Pacers. I just do not see I saw that Giannis is averaging something like 36 and 17 his last 6 games. They've lost playoff games. They lost all of them. Kyle Kuzma is now a new zero meme. The Dame Lillard Giannis thing, it has not. I know that they're one of the highest scoring duos in the league. I know that they're both all-stars. That duo just has not become what you thought it would become at any point in these last 2 years.
I don't know. I really like the duo. I think their biggest downfall was that Chris Middleton fell off a cliff, and so now all of a sudden, and Brook Lopez as well. And now they're in a position where they can't upgrade the team unless they get rid of Giannis or Dame. If Chris Middleton was the Chris Middleton of 2020, with this version of Giannis and this version of Dame, I think we're having a different conversation. I mean, Chris Middleton fell off a cliff so much that they were excited to bring in Kyle Kuzma for him.
But that's the thing though. Like that's the problem is that like you couldn't turn Middleton into anything. You could not turn. Like they're so sort of cash strapped. Their flexibility just is not there to do anything when you have a situation like the Middleton. Like who are they going to bring in to make this team any better? I know Clint Porter says the best team he's ever played on. Not
Bobby
true.
Portis.
Bobby Portis. I mean, Clint Porter. Bobby Portis is the best team that they've ever played on. That's not the case. I just don't see their ceiling has to be better than what we've seen so far, and not being able to get out of the first round. Now I know Dame has got, and they could turn this thing around. They could turn this series around theoretically. I don't see it coming. Dame is still cooked on defensively. They are still targeting him as soon as he gets on the court. And him and Giannis, and even if they do win this series, are you giving any of those guys a chance?
Against Cleveland?
Against Cleveland. You're giving these guys a chance against Cleveland. I'm not giving them a chance against Cleveland. And a second round ceiling is not what you expected when you brought in Dame Lillard and Giannis. It's time. It is absolutely time for us to do the where is Giannis going sweepstakes because that's where we are.
Let me ask you, give me a quick top 3.
Before we get all that out of here, I think I'm with somewhere where between you and Rodney, because the Brook Lopez thing is a very real thing to me. Like, he's a guy who you expect to, like, all these guys you expect to be just.
Man, he's like 34, 35.
And that's the issue. Like, I don't know how forward thinking this goes back to. I hate to go to front offices, but like, if you're going to get rid of Middleton and you bring in Kyle Kuzma, like, that's just my problem. Like, Kyle Kuzma is hurting. Like, he's making your team actively worse. You could have kept Middleton, and I would have rolled with the with just the camaraderie and just the, you know, like some Disney Channel spirit, like, hey, one last time for the guys thing. But like, Kuzma actively makes you worse, and that's what scares me. That like, game one when they played, it was so bad because Kuzma had zeros all across. You can't win like that when playoff starters are.
And then you look at their bench, who they're bringing in that's better.
That's the thing. Here's the thing about Milwaukee is that they had a playoff window, a championship window, really from like say 2019 to 2025, right? 2024, 2025. The problem is, and they won one championship in that window. Yeah. They won a championship in that window. The problem is all of those subsequent years and the year before, but they really were going to be Miami anyway. That Miami just had them. That all those subsequent years, they had a devastating injury in the middle of their championship. Like, if there is a situation where they do not have injuries in those post-championship years, we're looking at a Bucks team that wins a championship, that makes deep playoff runs every year, and this is the natural end of that saga. The natural end of that saga is everybody's old, and it is time for Giannis to move on, and that's exactly where we are. It's time for Giannis to move on.
But like, Giannis isn't old though, so like, if I'm Milwaukee, there's a part of me that's like, man,
everybody else is old. Everybody else is old. They have the oldest team, or them and the Clippers. They get the oldest team in the league. Everybody around him is old. It's time, Milwaukee. You had your Giannis run. Giannis has wanted to be a one city dude, but he also knows that there's a lot of noise out there for a lot of these other players. Jokic is winning MVPs left and right. Luka is a Laker now, and Giannis is now not even. I mean, he put up monster numbers. He's third in the MVP race, and nobody's talking about him. So it's one thing to be in a small market and win. And it's another thing to be in a small market and lose, and nobody's talking about you. It's time for Giannis to move on to somewhere else. But the problem is, I'm not even sure I know or see the team and the situation that makes the most sense for Giannis to move to right now. Like, I just do not see where. I mean, we'll see what happens with Houston. I think that there's interesting stuff with Houston, but do you pair him with Şengün? Do you move Şengün in the Giannis sweepstakes? Like, I think Houston. To me, I feel like if Houston flames out in the first quarter, the first series, you're looking at a situation where they'll probably look at Devin Booker. Right, Devin Booker will probably be the guy that they want. They probably hope that Kevin Durant moves. Devin Booker says, "I want to get out of here too." Houston tries to get that Devin Booker thing going. Is Miami, another cooked team, the place for Giannis to end up?
I don't know if they have the assets for him.
What would they? I think have once he gets there.
If I'm Giannis, because here's the thing. Obviously, Giannis is good enough to make any team a contender. If I'm Giannis, I'm going to Brooklyn, where the slate is clean. They might have Cooper Flag coming in. He might be able to bring a second superstar with him, and you can build the team how you want. I would look at Brooklyn, a team that has a lot of draft capital and young players.
Which you're still waiting. You're still pulling up.
Exactly.
But I think
with
Giannis,
Cooper Flag and another superstar coming with you, that's a good.
That's
team.
a lot of. That's a lot of.
It's better than where he's at now.
I mean, the thing. Well, I guess that brings up the issue here is that I don't see a like plug and play for Giannis right now, and then part of this is just where the league is with the second aprons and all that stuff. I just do not see a plug in, put him there, championship team for Giannis. I think like the next few years of him are going to be outside of contention. Because also the problem with you putting him in Brooklyn is that he's too good for them to get more draft picks. Like anywhere you put him, this is their last shot. Like Giannis is going to carry a team to the play-in every single year at the very least, no matter what. You're not going to be able to tank with Giannis on your team.
And well, yeah, the 65 games. He's not.
No, the whole Brooklyn thing is contingent on him bringing another superstar with him. That's my point. Bring in, say Devin Booker or Kevin Durant or someone, just throwing names out there, people who could be available. They have the draft assets and the salary cap. One of the few teams able to do that. But if we're thinking of one team,
going to the Knicks.
there's a team in Texas that
The Mavericks?
You put Giannis next to Wemby, and
hell no. But there's a better.
I'm just saying. DeAndre Fox, Giannis, and Wemby. We're talking about plug and play.
There's another team in New York that might have actual assets that you could probably get something for. They got picks. They got Mikal. Like they got stuff that I would far more want than what they got in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't see. I think the
Put
Bucks
him next to Wemby.
Bucks, yes are cooked. Giannis, I don't know what that championship level situation is for him. But we have our 4 cooked teams so far in the playoffs: Milwaukee, Memphis, Orlando, Miami. 4 absolute, we can agree, unanimously decided on cooked teams.
Easy.
Celtics, Warriors, pending injury, we'll see where they are with that. But everybody else, I think, is safe so far. I think we have 4 definite people who we won't be seeing come ball up top time next week. But for producer Rodney, producer Chuck, this is David Dennis. We are ball up top. We're done.